Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. It's Saturday, I've got an overtime shift this evening. I'm now graduated, I've got all my uniforms, everything's all sorted. Got one more week of on-job training and then get the blue uniform on and away I go the following week. So I'm going to be doing a head shave and a face shave today. I'm going to start off with the head shave. Now I'm going to use, actually I'll start off with the soap. You've probably seen from the name and the photograph. Mama Bear's Pepper Berry. Now this is a glycerin based soap. As you can see, it looks like a big boiled lolly or boiled sweet or a boiled candy, whatever you want to call it. It's a very sort of cinnamony, warm, Christmassy scent, if that makes sort of sense to you guys out there. It's got that sort of tart berry scent to it. It's absolutely lovely. It lathered great yesterday when I used the boar, and let's just see how it goes with this. So I'm going to be using this bad boy. I believe this is Cocobolo Rosewood. This was hand turned by Grey Dog, and it's absolutely stunning. It really is. Beautiful piece of wood, and it's got a 28mm Maggard plus soft style synthetic. It's a big old knot, I tell you, a really big knot. So let's get it dipped in the water, get it loaded up straight onto the dry soap. I don't bloom my soaps. I did, however, give the Old Spice original soap a blast, and I failed miserably. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've used natural hair, I've used synthetic, I've bloomed it, I haven't bloomed it, and I cannot get a lather for the life of me out of that soap. So I'm going to persevere with it a little bit, but it looks like I may have to knock the nail on the head with the old school Old Spice. I just can't get a lather out of it. It's almost similar to the sort of issues that I had with Mitchell's Wool Fat, where it just turns into a fluffy, bubbly, airy lather that is absolutely useless to shave with. It's probably still got a bit of slickness and everything in there, but I don't like using a soap that dissipates. I just don't feel comfortable using it, even though the properties are probably still there to be able to give me a good shave. Okay, so there's the brush loaded. Probably overloaded, but so there we go. So I've never used Mama Bear's soap to shave before. I've got a little cut on my head here. I actually banged my head on a door or something. I can't remember. I think I did. Memory's not that great. I might have cut myself last time I had a head shave, but I don't think I did. And here we go. Just painting that little bit of the load on. Now this is a massive knot. It's a 28mm. In comparison to the 30mm tuxedo knot that I have, or that I probably be giving away, this thing's massive in terms of actual visual size. Just dip the tips and let's start building the lather, see what we get out of this. So it's a glycerin based soap. It does build a nice lather, glycerin based soaps. Similar to, so I think Fine Accoutrements is also glycerin based. I'm not 100% sure, it might be tallow, but it's a firm soap, really hard. Now glycerin based soaps generally have good slickness in most instances. I haven't used a whole lot of glycerin based soaps. The other one would be Colonel Conks, which was pretty average, didn't lather anywhere near as good as this. And the other one I used that I enjoyed was Humphrey's Handmade. Now they do a massive range of scents, some really funny scents as well. The great thing with glycerin soaps is they're really hard, so they last a long time generally. You get your money's worth out of them for sure. Well, as you can see, the old knot is whipping up a great lather. I don't mean old as in it's old, just the old knot as in this knot. This old new knot. Right, so there we go. So the razor for today, I'll be using it for my face shave as well because I really enjoyed using it last time. It's the MJ90 from RazoRock. Aluminium head, titanium handle, and I've got the same feather blade in here, so this is the third use on this blade. And I have got the A-plate on, which hopefully you can see there. Is that focusing? Oh, you can see the little capital A. So let's see how this goes on this blade for the third use. Feather blades notoriously have a crap longevity for me, but we'll see how we go. I'm just going to go straight against the grain with this. So we'll see how the blade holds up. And I'm going to say not real great, so bear with me. Bear with me. I'm going to use wet, lathered up hands to do this here and slice my fingers off probably, but I'll just get stuck in. So what I've got here is my go-to blade, which is a Gillette Nasset, and we'll change that over. So there we go, brand new Nasset blade. Get the base plates, pop it on there and screw it in. Now the great thing I love about this razor is there's no overhang at all, no matter what blade I pop in here. As you can see, there's nothing sticking out the sides. I never worry about cutting myself with the actual edges of the blade. Well, that's instantly much nicer to use. Oh yeah, much better. I'm still expecting to be doing a lot of buffing with this razor because it is still a mild razor, but it just has a lot more efficiency than it does with the original base plate that comes with the MJ90. So for those of you guys out there that have sensitive skin and you want a little bit of adjustability, this razor's spot on. It's got those that really mild setting that comes with the razor. And then you've got this A-plate that just adds a whole new level to it as well. And RazoRock really, in my opinion, for precision machining on the razors. Now I know these aren't made by RazoRock, they're made by a company in Canada. I'm not sure who it is that actually makes them for them. But whoever it is really knows what they're doing and makes really precision made instruments. Because this razor, as much as it doesn't cost a lot, I think they're about $40 American. It's super smooth, it's precision made, the blade sits where it's supposed to, it doesn't have really any wiggle room when you put it together. Just plying through this, I tell you. Well, I think it is. I haven't actually felt the back of my head yet to see if it's actually knocking it down, but I'm pretty sure it's doing a good job. Yeah, there's not a whole heap left on there. If I could show you the sink, it's absolutely chockers full of hair. Right, let's see what the residual slickness is like after one pass. It's pretty good. It's all right. It's better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be pretty average residual, but no, it's not. It's good. Not that it really matters, because I'm about to plough another layer of lather on. A little bit more water. I'm going to get the tips first off. Straight back into it. Yeah, really impressed with this soap. The scent is phenomenal. It's filling up the bathroom. Scent strength off the puck. It pretty much is a puck. Glycerin soap. Or out of the tub is around about a 5 or 6, and it stays around about a 5 or 6 when you're lathering it. So it really fills your bathroom up with a beautiful sort of spicy, fruity scent. Really nice. Just going to tip the tips. I'm getting a little bit of a, not a tingle, but a bit of a feeling in the back of my head. I don't know if it's because of the razor. I might have just pushed it just a little bit too far in terms of pressure. Because it is a mild razor, I tend to give mild razors a little bit more oomph, and I shouldn't really. Whether I'm having a reaction to the soap, I don't know. We'll soon find out. We'll find out when I do my face shave more so, because that's normally when I have my reactions. So here we go. Second pass. Straight against the grain again, and this is really just to pick up all the excess that I missed the first time around. Super smooth. Now Grey Dog sent this soap and this brush as well, and they said the soap performs very well, but the post-shave feel from it, considering it's a glycerin based soap, is supposedly excellent. I can't grumble at the performance of it. The performance so far is really good. Really slick soap. The NJ90 is just ploughing through the hair. It's going to take longer than normal because it is not taking the hair down quite as well. Anyway, nowhere near as well as like the Razor Rock Wunderbar, but that's to be expected. This is a mild, light-headed, everyday shaving razor. It's not really built for heavy growth, if I'm honest. If you have heavy growth, this razor is probably not for you. I think it'll be far too mild. But then again, you just never know. For the money, it's worth giving it a bash. And if I'm brutally honest, this razor would sell on quite easy as well. So all I'm doing here is just using residual slickness to finish off, because there's not a whole heap left. Now, one thing I have to say about this MG90, whatever coating is on this black coating, how they've coated it, this black coating here, it seems to glide nice over the skin. A lot smoother than, say, chrome finish. As you can see, the residual slickness is pretty impressive. To be able to go through that amount of touch-ups without actually touching up the lather again itself. Now, it's not as close a shave as I normally have, I can tell that straight away. But for what it's worth, for how quick and easy that was really, I'm very happy with it. And just little bits here and there I'm just finding difficult chopping right down into the wood. So there we go. So that was Malabare's Pepperberry. Beautiful scented soap, glycerin based soap. I'm going to have a bit of blood here floating about. Am I? No, maybe not. No, I'm quite surprised at. Yeah, really surprised. The MG90 for me is a very difficult razor to actually cut yourself with or get weepers or anything with. I mean, even that there, I had a cut there, like a scab, and it's took that off and it's still clean. There's no blood anywhere that I can feel, that I can see. Post shave's very moisturised feeling, so I'm not going to put anything on at the moment. I'm going to let this sort of settle down, get my face shave done after this one, and then I'll do my full post shave routine for my face shave. So you guys stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive, and I'll catch you guys in the next shave. Cheers.